Today's episode is all about membership as we look at the role of Vice President Membership, or VPM. They're the person who manages the process of making guests feel welcome and hopefully transforming them into members and getting them started on their Toastmasters journey. When a guest comes to the club, the VPM answers questions, provides information, possibly provides them with a guest pack, and connects them with existing members to give them a Toastmasters buddy for their first meetings. They act as a consistent contact point for guests and follow up with guests as required. When a member joins, the VPM coordinates their induction, including getting the new member started on their first speech, the icebreaker. VPMs work with club members and other club officers to promote Toastmasters. They encourage members to bring guests to meetings and coordinate membership drives run by Toastmasters International. The VPM may also follow up with guests who maybe don't return and members who leave the club to ascertain why and how the club can continue to work to provide the best possible guest and member experience. The Vice President membership also represents the club at area meetings. So let's dive in, have a chat with a current Vice President membership to find out what they love about the role and being a club officer in Toastmasters. Welcome everyone today to talk about the role of Vice President membership, which you'll see as VPM, is Anna Gordon. Welcome Anna, lovely to have you.
Hello, nice to be with you.
Awesome. So Anna, we start off each episode with our guests with some really easy questions just to get a bit of a feel for where you fit into the picture with Toastmasters, I guess. So the first one is, what club is your club? What makes it an awesome club?
So I am part of the awesome club of entrepreneurs Capricorn Toastmasters, and we're based in Rockhampton, and we're the group that meets on Friday mornings. And I would say that we're an awesome group because I think what makes us unique is that we're all pretty supportive of each other, as well as having a lot of wisdom within the group, and a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, definitely a supportive club. I've had a couple of members from the club in on this podcast and been happy to jump in. That's the only club you belong to? Is that the only club you've ever belonged to?
Yep, that's my first and only club.
And I found your home straight up then, I take it.
Yeah.
How long have you been a member of that club? How long have you been a Toastmaster for?
2 years and a few months I've been there.
And what brought you to Toastmasters? What drew you in the first place? What made you think, oh, that's something I want to go to?
So I was aiming to try and improve my public speaking skills and my communication overall. And the opportunity came up to go to a weekend workshop on public speaking that was run by the three clubs on the Capricorn coast, and had a great time there and joined in the Friday morning meetings after that, and have just kept coming because it's a great experience and I've learned a lot.
Yeah, excellent. I love that reflection of that you've learned a lot and that you keep coming. You signed up for a weekend, but then realized there's so much more to get out of that Toastmasters journey. And obviously one of those things to get out of the Toastmasters journey is becoming a club officer and stepping up into those leadership roles and those other opportunities that Toastmasters offers beyond just public speaking and communication.
Yep.
Why VPM? I know you're signing up for it for a second time. What makes it the best role to have?
I don't know if it's the best role. I think all the roles are vital. I what I enjoy about it is getting to know our guests that sometimes become new members, and helping support the people that are thinking about joining a club. I suppose knowing that it can be hard to get in the door the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, um, but supporting people to make that step, um, and to feel welcome and to feel valued in their presence with us and their contribution to our club. I think that's pretty important. So I enjoy trying to improve on my ability to do that, and provide some information and answer some questions for our prospective members at the same time, but also then support the members on their journeys along their with trying to improve their Toastmasters skills as we go along. I think that's been pretty important and something I'm enjoying.
Yeah, and I love that. I see a bit of a dovetail there, that kind of working in with the vice president education there as well, about really working with members what they want to get out of Toastmasters and helping them craft their journey through it.
Yeah,
And I
very
love that bit
much.
about making people, yeah, I love that bit about making people feel valued. That you come in the door, that you're a part of this, you belong. This is somewhere that you can come and really have that safe, supportive space.
Yep.
You talked very briefly at the end there. You mentioned about developing your own skills and being able to do those things. What are some of the skills and knowledge that someone can expect to develop or learn through doing the role of VPM that you've found?
The transferable skills has been maybe being a better host for um, guests or visitors at work, um, mm, being able to support the people that might um, visit the workplace, even colleagues from out of town, and just helping them to settle in, and being able to support them. It's given me some confidence in being able to do that. But I think also it's been developed some skills along the lines of just getting better at impromptu communication skills. So um, even answering questions at parties or events, or um, because you're sometimes thrown on the spot a little bit about um, questions that people might have, you get to practice those skills, and then you can use them elsewhere.
And of course, we practice that through table topics as well. But I guess
Yep.
being that first point of contact for questions for guests is a whole different level of that in a different way. Again, like really further practicing and refining those skills.
Yep. Yep.
And I love
And I
that
think,
you can pull out some things there that you use outside of Toastmasters as well, kind of in real life, take into the world. Yeah.
yep. And for someone who I'm not very forthcoming, I'll be the person to sit back and wait for everyone else to ask their questions or what have you beforehand. To be the person that has to be one of the first people that they speak to get them organised, and maybe also to delegate to someone else that they might be their support person for that meeting. Um, they're not skills that, or they're not traits that I um, have naturally, I suppose. So um, being able to practice that in a comfortable and supportive um, environment's been really helpful.
Yeah. And I did have a question in there for today about, do you have to be an extrovert to do this role? Like, can someone who's an introvert or not so out there be the person who does that role? I think you've answered that really beautifully there, that if that's part of what you're wanting to work on, if that's part of your growth and development, absolutely, it's a fantastic role for that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then you're also the person that's trying to communicate with them to help um, get them to come again and to become members. So it's also, learning that not everyone will become a member, and so being okay with with that as well. So sometimes it's not for everyone, and just learning that that's okay too. Um, I think that's pretty important as well. Um, and then it's a little bit of trying to promote the club with some of our other members, and trying to also ensure that we're meeting targets as far as trying to improve membership, but making sure the members that we have feel um, that they're fulfilled by what they're doing in Toastmasters too.
Yeah. It sounds that there's a little bit that goes on in the background, both at meetings and in between meetings. Is this a role that you need a massive amount of time to put in towards? How much time a week or a month or a fortnight, however you kind of look at that, would you say that you put in outside of meetings towards a role like VPM?
I'd say outside of meetings, I'd aim for an hour a week. Um, doesn't always happen that way, but um, about an hour a week just to check emails, um, to update any communications, and to update the guest matrix. And then I suppose there's a little bit of time that's spent in the area meetings, um, and planning for um, events coming up. So yeah, I'd say it's probably about an hour a week, maybe a little bit more when we're a little bit busier with events, but yeah, about that.
Yeah. And you mentioned there about um, coordinating with others and events, and that the VPM is one of the club representatives at area meetings. Are there particular other roles that you work more or less closely with, or is it just kind of all the executive works together to get things done?
I think our all of the area, I mean, all of them, the club's executive work together, but I'd say that the VPM works mainly with the president and VPM of education mainly, um, and sometimes with the um, VP of marketing, depending what we're trying to achieve. Um, but yeah, pretty close ties with the president and the VP of education.
Fantastic. If someone was thinking about nominating for VPM but wondering if this is the role for them or if they should, what advice would you give them? What would you say about giving it a go?
Just have a go, and then don't be afraid to ask for help if you've got questions. There's usually someone around that's got some experience and knowledge within the club, and also probably sometimes not being afraid just to make things your own as well.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And we talk about Toastmasters being supportive and safe, and it kind of, they're words you can use a lot. But I love the fact that when we come into our clubs, it really is that. There is always someone there who will help you out, answer a question, who's been in the club, perhaps held that role before, or there's the president, the VPE, the VPPR, all those people you mesh with and work with.
Yep,
And it really is a great environment if you've never held any sort of role before to give something a go,
yep,
because
absolutely.
there truly is that support there. Yeah.
Yep.
Has there been something about being vice president membership that was a total surprise, that coming into the job you just did not expect?
I probably didn't expect there to be um, quite as much training and educational resources out there as what there is. So that's been, I think that's been really helpful. Um, and I think it's been interesting learning how different people do the training differently. And I think I've gotten a little bit out of every training session that I've been to, and there's plenty of resources there to adapt for each of the clubs to use how we'd like to support the roles. So I think um, that's been a surprise and help and yeah, a positive.
Yeah, awesome. So not just support within the club, but from Toastmasters as an organisation, that
Yep.
area, division, and organisation level. Yeah,
Yep.
fantastic. So if anyone's listening and they're not aware, when you become a club officer, there's an initial round of training and then a second round of training throughout your time as well. And that really is very valuable. And I'd even encourage any club member to come to that training because you really do learn so much more about what goes on behind the scenes, how it all fits together, and what happens within the club.
I think the training that we've had for executive roles is translated well for other clubs that you might be a member of, or workplaces as well, and the way that um, meetings are run, or organisations are run. So I think what we've learnt there is translated really well into the real world as such. Um, but I think it's also been really nice just getting to know everyone else within the
Mm.
Toastmasters community too.
Yeah, so often an area or a division will come together for training, so you get to meet those other people, which is really, really valuable. A really good part of that. Do you have a highlight from being VPM? A standout moment, something that happened, something that's like, wow, that moment made it worth it.
Um, I really enjoyed putting together our open day, our open house this year.
Yeah.
I think it was really nice working with everyone to make that event happen, um, and it was really good to
And
see.
there's another aspect that often people don't realize too is project management and working on an event and working in that area as well. It's a whole nother skill set that comes together.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and I really enjoy that coming together to put something on. Um, so in that time beforehand, as well as the event, I think yeah, I quite enjoy that little bit of hive of activity, and I'm looking forward to us celebrating our birthday in July. So that'll be another event that we'll put on soon. The
Yeah.
club's birthday, I
So
should
for
say.
those listening in, our Entrepreneurs is having its 10-year birthday, 10 years since the club was chartered back in 2016. So that's a bit exciting as well. Yeah. And we're hoping to get a lot of our current and former members together for that one. Should be a good event. Thank you, Anna. It's been great to get a little bit of an insight into that vice president membership role. And if it's something that you're considering, that you're thinking about, it is a great first step onto an executive, or second or third, or to come back to again. If you are thinking that it might be something you'd be interested in looking at, reach out to your president, current VPM. They will be more than happy to chat more with you about what opportunities there could be within your club to step up into that leadership role.